Shalom. All praise to the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem Kakudash. I want to touch on the end part of the last video that I don't want to say I just did it, but nevertheless, it was the other day or a few days ago. I don't know. The last one posted a couple of days ago. Who knows? Anyway, it was a part of it that got silenced out, and they do this a lot, so it's ain't nothing new, but it's what happens, man. You can look at it as like a parable of sower situation. But I was talking about those ICBMs, right? Intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? The nukes, if you will. I posted a video of that new one. It ain't even new. It's been out for a few years. But the missile from Russia, okay? And the warheads. And I was going into Isaiah, I believe it's in Isaiah 54, where it talks about no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Well, even growing up in a church, because I did it too back in the day, we would use that scripture loosely, right? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. You get into it with a dude, you lose your job, your brakes go out, need a transmission, or if you're a female, right, you lose a friend, this friend start talking to this boyfriend, anything happen, right? Coworkers bothering you at work, no weapon formed against. So we just use that, not understanding that the Most High, he was talking and prophesying, if you will, about a specific weapon formed that he formed. The Most High is creating this weapon, meaning he creates good and evil. He allows these devils to create these type of things. If we understand the scriptures and the prophecy, he allows them to create these, what we call nukes today. Our forefathers, right? The prophets, disciples, and all of that. By the way, you brothers out there, you prophets too, understand that. But they didn't know how to really explain it. What I mean by that is you got to think they're looking ahead in the future, and the Most High is giving them these visions. So they're describing it in their terms, if you will, like, yo, it's like an arrow, but when it moves, it got like the tail and of a snake, and it got smoke coming out, but his head got like fire, but when the head touches, it hurts and kills. And he's describing a missile, all right? Because it was the end times, right? That's what he's talking about. So I'm gonna get right into that because it cut off, and that's very important because I used to use that scripture loosely as well until I was like, wait a minute, this is what the Most High is talking about. This is the weapon formed against, right? But he's saying that, look, y'all my children. But it ain't gonna mess with y'all, right? 1,000 gonna fall at your left, 10,000 at your right, et cetera, et cetera. This is judgment upon Babylon, Esau, same thing, right? And 2/3 of our people as well, right? So I want to get into that. I'm gonna just go straight to it since I already covered it. Revelation chapter 9. Let's go straight to verse 19. So John the Revelator, he's looking at this. About 200 million of them. Look, verse 16 says it's about 200 million of them that he heard, right? I'm roughly paraphrasing, that he heard, okay? Verse 19, for their power is in their mouth and in their tail. So he's like, you know, it has the power because it's got the fire, right? The force, if you will. For their tails were like unto serpents when a missile take off, when a rocket take off. We had them bottle rockets back in the day when all of us used to pop fireworks, right? Then it take off like a snake, and it shoot through. This is what he's describing. For the tails were like unto serpents and had heads. He's like, yo, it had heads though, and with them they do hurt. So those ICBMs that I posted the video with Russia, it said it was a nuclear warhead. They call them warheads, right? Different type of missiles, Scud missiles, right? It said it explodes and then it drops out 10 more, right? Okay, so this is the weapon that he's talking about. Let's go back. I think I was in Isaiah when it messed up. October, let me go back to Isaiah. I think it was 54. There's no weapon formed against us, right? Okay, Khan. All right. Right. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. The Most High said, I created this. I'm allowing this. The Most High creates good and evil. He allows it. So, for example, in the video that's going around where the sister is got knocked upside her head with a brick, you're not supposed to be feeling sorry for her. That's judgment. The Most High don't make mistakes. She said she can protect herself. So be it. Word that's I'm gonna get into that too, but sisters need a covering. That's in the law. That's in the law. That's Numbers 30. That's in the law. But when most of us live by ourselves and all of that, every idle word that you speak, like that sister who got knocked upside the head with a brick, for example, if she's not married, guess what she's supposed to be? Her ass supposed to be at her daddy's house. She ain't supposed to be living by herself. Off topic. Let me get back into this. Verse 17. No weapon. No, I'm going to finish that. Verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. Those missiles, same thing John was explaining. And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. So when them nukes hit, it's going to destroy. I mean, come on, it can wipe out whole cities. Verse 17, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. So in context, this is what the Most High was talking about. But you say, oh, we'll take that one scripture. Your pastor run off for 8 minutes talking. No weapon formed against thee. When you go to work and they and then it ain't even the context. All right. And every tongue that shall rise against thee, talking about the Israelites specifically, every tongue that rise up against us, people talk about how we dress, what we talking about. You sound crazy. That ain't what happened. My church ain't like that. I ain't doing this. You give somebody edification and correction, and then they take it personal. All right, it's gonna be that way. Look, we used to this, right? Matter of fact, the Most High even told us we're going to offend. We're going to offend. Delivering this truth, you're going to offend people. We lose family members, right? Wives, friends, jobs, anything. You're going to offend many because people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want you to ruin their reality. So what do most people do when they get offended? They try to do direct attacks back. That's what we got there in the world. Versus you look at people in the scriptures, they get edified. They'll go, yes, Lord. Oh, yes, you know what? Paul, you're right. You know what? Jeremiah, yep, you're right. But here you say, hey, look, we're not supposed to be doing this, et cetera, et cetera. But you ain't used to do that when you was 9 years old. Come on, man. We got to do better. All right. So every tongue that shall rise against us, thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage, the Israelites, of the servants, right, of Yahweh. And their righteousness, that law keeping and all that we're telling people to do, is of me. Right. So during all of this, matter of fact, let's get into that because I touched on this in that video. I think I went to Isaiah 13. During all of this, all right, Salaki, I was trying to find that word. During all of this, by the way, all this is talking about the destruction, if you will, right? During all of this, for our sisters, I talked about the covering. I'm just get straight to it. Verse 11 and 12, the Most High is all about order, right? He talks about that. Like, look, the protection when he says we're gonna eat at the table prepared for us in the midst of our enemies. Yeah, who sits at the head of a table? I mean, the man. That's right. He's all about order. They're gonna have to have a covering. Look, it is what it is. People act like they try to avoid those scriptures because it hurts their feelings and all that. And no, look, this is what's going on. Look at verse 11, right? Chapter 13, verse 11. I will punish the world for their evil with that weapon that he formed against, right? And the wicked for their iniquity. I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible, right? That goes back to Isaiah chapter 3 when he talks about the haughtiness of the daughters of Zion. Here, and I say here, America, the Western ideology, because it's reached everywhere. They're prideful. You can't tell them nothing. It's a lip back for everything. Everything. I remember I remember telling the sister, "Hey, you need to drink some water because da 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 da." The sister got offended. Just randomly, look, water ain't never hurt nobody. Ain't waterboarding you. Like, I mean, it could be anything. It's the pridefulness, right? Verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man of the golden wedge of the Ophir, right? So the Most High letting us know, and there's other scriptures too, Isaiah 32, Isaiah 36. He's letting us know, like, hey, this is going to go back to my men, back to the way it was. This is not in the kingdom of heaven. This is coming up right now. During this next lockdown, this next war, those who are be protected are going to be the elect men of Israel, the 1/3, right? And the 144. That's it. It don't matter how much money your dude got and all of that. None of this stuff matters. You could be with a man right now. If he ain't dealing with the Most High, guess what? Somebody got to fit. There's portions and there's lots. People got to fit, right? Matter of fact, I said something earlier about, and then I'm going to just close out because I only want to touch on that part. I said something earlier about us being offended, right? We're going to offend many people, right? I'll go to we'll go to verse 6, right? Matthew chapter 24, verse 6, and we'll close it out. I just want to touch on that. That was the weapon that the Most High was talking about, all right? Matthew 24 and 6, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, right? He talking to the Israelites, right? Specifically the men, right? Now we passed there should be wars and rumors of wars. Man, we already at wars, right? For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That is coming. Race wars, if you didn't know, are in the Bible. He ain't talking about, Ecuador versus the United States and all that. And there shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. You going into Jacob's trouble. You're going to have to be with a man of Yasharallah. All right? Verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. You know how many people we get hate messages? Some of our friends even hate us. They hate the knowledge and the power that comes with this truth, because they can read the same thing we read, but can't break it down and can't understand it, and it's jealousy. All right? And it says, verse 10, and then shall many be offended. You're going to offend some people in this truth when you deliver in this word. That's love. We don't know what love is. We've been here in captivity. Just like a child. A child gets the behaviors and the patterns or whatever from who they're around. We've let people who've committed genocide on every single continent tell and show us what love is on TV, on commercial, the way they treat each other. Nobody who's had you in captivity could show you what love is. We lost track for what love is. Love is when we keep the commandments. Love is actions. That's what the Most High says. All right. So anyway, with that, Shalom, I just want to touch on that part about the no weapon formed against. Hopefully, brothers and sisters have been edified.